Hello and welcome to Smart Factory Tycoon. Beginning, I guess. This is a kind of prequel to the main game which they're working on, which is just going to be Smart Factory Tycoon. Although the developers have sent me a free key, and appreciate that, my thoughts are still my own, and I'm still gonna be objective on this game and my thoughts and findings of this game. They've sent me a free key for this game, but it's also freely available on the Steam workshop. Well, on Steam. I will leave a link down below in the description down below for you guys and girls to have a look at it. And if you want to download it, have a go on it, you can do. I don't know what the full functionality of the game will be, so please bear that in mind if you are going to give it a try. I guess it is just like a demo, a free demo in a sense, but don't quote me on this. I'm hoping if the developers are listening, if they want to send me a key to the actual proper game, I'd be greatly appreciate that, and I can do a like comparison for both games. I've already delved in this game and had a good look around on it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and findings as I go through it. Go for new game. Bear a second, let me just type out what we want. Click to start. Okay, and again. Okay, it gives you like first thing you want to do is pause before you do anything else in this game. Is pause, because otherwise it's going to be costing you money as the time ticks on, and then you can it gives you a bit more breathing room to plan out what you want to do. Now there is a tutorial up on the top here. It gives you the basic overview. Have a pause and pause the video and have a read if you need to. But I will go through what you need to do anyway. So what my suggestion is, and it's my personal suggestion, you don't have to do this. When building, first of all, what you need to do is you go to construct a production room. Now the tutorial says make it 4x4, which I think is roughly there, which is fine, but it doesn't give you a lot of room to expand. What I suggest you do is make it at least 5x5. If not, if you want to go across the whole entire thing, you can do. That's another option. But I'm going to say 5x5 and then do that. And then it asks you to place a door. It will cost you more money though. The bigger the room, the more the cost is going to cost. So bear that in mind. Right, what else you want to do? You want to also build a place for your robots to recharge and stuff. That doesn't necessarily have to be as big. I won't do that just yet. What I want to do is put zones in. Now you can have them as small as big as you like. I find having it that sort of size is probably the more. Oops. No. These are free to build, so you can always sort of like edit them and demolish them and rebuild them again. That's probably the best sort of like size for you. Again, you can just do the single channels as well. Let me just put those in before I put the robot room in, like that. And then okay. Now in order to change their functionality, you need to right click on them, and then that'll become just export. What I suggest is having your finished goods all as close as you can get to the door, and you'll see why in a minute. This can sort of like stay here or near to where your production facility is. The closer to it, the better, because they can come and go and grab the bits that they need. Right, what you can do now is, again, you don't have to do this, it's just a little bit of advice. Again, make your robot room, that doesn't need to be as big. 4x4 is probably gonna be adequate for you now. You can always, again, expand later on. The only thing with expansion is anything that's in the room will get demolished or turned into cardboard boxes, I think it says. So bear that in mind. You might want to build another room that's larger somewhere else first, and then move all your equipment to it, and then demolishing it and then use it again for something else. But again, that's your personal preference. What you need to do first, the supercharger is more expensive to run. You can use the regular charger, as you can see that's £1,000, but it does charge them up quicker. You can always put a slightly cheaper one in later. And again, what you need here is the lubricator. Now, if you saw that, which is locked out, a lot of things will be locked out here. And there's see this bar on the bottom here? Over time, as you produce more goods, that fills up, and then once you achieve the full bar, it then gives you sort of like points to do research and development for, and then depending on how many points you got, it's depending on how much you can spend. But anyway, I didn't actually put that lubricator in, did I? There we go. Tick. You can, at one point, you can actually improve these as well once you've unlocked that. Right, now the tutorial says for you to go into market and look for something to produce. That is locked out at the moment because we just don't have that facility. But the duck should be able to be fairly easy to produce. So plan that out, and it'll give you a schematic of what you need. And that's a good way of then going, right, okay, I'm going to need a plastic injection machine and a painting machine that's plastic. So if I come out of here, first things first, go into production, then look for the, where are you? Plastic extruder, there you go. Is that? It's R and F, I believe. To rotate, yeah, R and F. Place it. Don't forget to tick. It's my common little thing, I forget to tick it. That's done. Now what we need is the plastic paint machine. Paint station plastic. Again, rotate, don't forget to rotate. Now you see why I built this out a bit wider. So now you can sort of expand. If you had this smaller, you'd already be starting to run out of room. But now you've got this big enough to expand into if you need to. So that's why I suggest having the rooms a bit bigger, so then you can produce, well, you can actually have a lot more going on in there. But again, it's your personal preference. What you want to do is what you want to do. Once that is done, don't forget to tick. It's a big empty room at the moment, I know, but once it's done, you now need to go and buy some robots. Now, the more starred robot, the more expensive they're going to get. As you can see, you can just get too cheap, or a lot of cheap robots with no star points on them whatsoever. Obviously, they're going to be a lot cheaper, but they're going to be a lot slower. I'm going to buy 2 of the cheaper robots for now, just because I want to. I could buy that cheaper, well, that lower end cheaper robot there. There's actually a bargain robot there. It's 1 star. So I'm going to go for that one there. and then buy a cheaper robot. They're all about the same sort of price. I could buy Leo. This all goes in, yeah, I'm gonna buy Leo as well. Okay, it's gonna leave me less money to play with. Now let's start a contract. So if I go into here and plan that out, now this is where it asks you to link. So you've got to click on the thing and then link it. So see this? Now I've got to link that to that, and that's ready. Now up here, you can this is the thing. It's dependent on the quality. You get more of a profit. However, see down here, the sort of like reliability and stuff will be different. So bear that in mind. If you're making cheaper goods, you're making them cheaper, but they're not as reliable. And if you're making them more expensive, then higher percentage materials, you don't get as much of a profit as you can see, but you can sort of like get a better reliability. I'm just going to leave it for 60% for the first try, and then I'll sort of divvy-dabbly on the next one and see how we go from there. You can also increase the amount that you produce as well. I'm going to just say, it says 10 units, but I'm going to make 20 units. Just for now, because you get a bigger payout. It will cost you more, but you get a bigger payout at the end. So that should be coming, and the clock has now unpaused. So bear that in mind. Once you start a contract, it will unpause the game. As you can see, a bus has just turned up and dropped off the 2 robots, and there comes the delivery. And you can see it's all wintry as well. It's good. It goes through seasons, which is quite cool. You get like spring, summer. It rains and all that good stuff. You get snow. And that'll drop that off. It slides it out the back of the van or the lorry, just like that. And then the crane grabs it and picks it up, and then pulls it into your little warehouse. Just make sure that's this is the right zone. You'll see why that's important later. And the 2 robots are now just turning up to do some work. The thing is, with the robots, the higher stars they got, the more reliable they are, and the more less likely they need to go and get recharged and stuff like that, and the quicker they are. The lower stars means that they're going to be not as good, and so they're going to be slower and all that stuff. So it's kind of a trade-off. If you can get yourself a bargain 1-star robot, you're good to go. These ain't the quickest about. If you get the more expensive, like 4-star plus robots or whatever, they're a lot quicker. But because again, we're starting off a minimum amount, then we kind of have to sort of like make do with what we've got. As you can see, they're going in and out and sort of like grabbing bits and pieces, and I've been floating over him. But look, he's got a can of paint, he's got some plastic, or that robot's got some plastic, and then you see they slowly work their way up. There's already a duck in there, and he's going to now paint it, and now that's going to be a finished duck in a minute, and he's in there, or that robot's there pressing that plastic, or forming that plastic into a unfinished. Now, because there was no room on the paint booth here, now take that over to this zone, which is like everything. So you'll have both mixture of finished and unfinished stuff in this zone, but purely finished ones will stay over here. You can, if you wanted to have them for both, that also works. You don't have to necessarily have 2 zones like this. But the tutorial does recommend that you do have 2 zones set out, and I can see why. It just makes things a lot easier for you to know what's going on and all that good stuff. Right, so as you can see, the charge in here, I like the little screens they've got on there. on their bellies and their backs to tell you what's going on with them. You can actually see what your robots are doing if you go to my robots, and you can see there. And over time, you can add stars or upgrade them as and when they get to that point. And as you can see there, and then you can just upgrade stuff as you go. As they get skill points, you can then apply that skill point and then it upgrade that robot. And over time, those smaller robots you got, or the cheaper robots, will be the same. As they get doing more, they learn more. They get a skill point, and then you put that skill point into producing. Well, you put that skill point into a star, which then makes them quicker, etc., etc. But I'm gonna fast forward time. You can pause like that. Speed up like that, and slow down like that. You've also got your economy here. I can't see any way of taking out a loan, which is a bit of a bugbear, because the first few tries I had a go on this, and I was running out of money quickly, and there's no way I could bail myself out of it without sort of undoing the work I'd already done. So that's one thing to bear. Then you've just got like your statistics here, revenue, and all this sort of leaderboards and all that good stuff. Then you've got the robots there, my robots, and then that's your R&D. Once you unlock the points, you can then use points against research and development. And here is all your milestones here, and then you get level 2, level 3, all that good stuff. And down here is what your log is and what you've actually done and everything else. So I'll fast forward it now, because obviously you've seen enough of them juicing ducks, and we'll just get this done. As you can see that they're charging, lubricating, charging. They don't last infinite. But like I say, over time, as they get more skill points, you can upgrade the robots. And see now, over midnight, you get a cost associated with obviously running the robots and everything else, running the machinery. So bear that in mind. Over here, you can sort of like start buying the gardens. To sort of like, you can buy a garden, name a garden, you can put trees in it, you can put windmills in it. And all that good stuff. I don't think we can buy a tree yet, or windmills yet. No, they're all locked out. But over time you can, and solar panels. Again, that's all part of the research and development, and that help offset all the some of the costs you get associated with like energy, and all that stuff. But as you can see, there's unfinished ducts here, waiting to be painted, and the unfinished ducts are just there. So it's the effective way of sort of like making sure that it's all being done. It's the way you want. I could potentially buy another robot, but I don't want to, because in my first playthrough, just testing it out, having 3 robots this early in the game, as you can see now, it's just gone another night, is not the best idea. Now they see you've taken more ducks to be painted. We've got 11 out of 20. You can just do 10. It's up to you. But as I said, the more ducks obviously you produce, well, the more you produce, the longer it's going to take for them to produce it. So do bear that in mind. If you've got a load of good robots, then I should probably suggest going for the higher amounts. If you've got lower end robots, I'd probably suggest sort of going for smaller amounts to produce, just because obviously the longer it's going to take. But I just want to show you just an instance. You can start off as a minimum of 10. I think that's the minimum requirement. I want to go for 20, just so then you can show you a bit of a bigger payout and show you how it all stacks up a bit better. See, that's now done, so I'm going to slow down time. and then get the lorry to come out. They're sort of like charge, do whatever they need to, and wait until they're needed again in that little dugout over here, whatever it is, that little warehouse, mini warehouse, I guess. Speed up the time a little bit more. Here comes the van, and you see that pulls in, opens its doors. The robots come out, start grabbing ducks, and then throwing them onto the back of the lorry. Slow it down, and actually I'm going to pause it so I can take a photo of one of the robots carrying a duck, like so, and then I can take a picture. Actually, I'll take a couple of pictures just to see what looks. Actually, that looks good. Actually, let's try and do that. There we go, that looks good. Cool. Now I can unpause it or resume, and then get them to speed up a bit more as well. Obviously, it takes longer to load more ducks on the back, and that robot's having to recharge, and one's lubricating. We should get a bigger payout though, that's the thing. And there goes the ducks. He's recharging again. Again, I can speed it up a bit even faster now. Look, they're both recharging. So obviously the problem is, the more robots you have, the more charging stations and stuff. He's done now, and that has given us a nice payout. Now we could reinvest that into the next product. Let's see how feasible the next project will be. See, these are wooden toys. I can't produce that yet. I could produce the wooden toy. I can't produce that yet. Let's see what's involved with the wooden toy. If not, what I'll do... Okay, it's quite a lot involved with the wooden toy. So what I'll do... I will just produce more ducks. Just because... that's the easiest and cheapest to format. I will make less ducks this time, but I'll make them at a higher percentage. So I'm going to make them at that amount, at 90%. I'm not going to get as much as a profit, and it's going to cost me more in materials, but it just helps balance this all out. So execute, and then that'll send another delivery van of ducks, or more materials for more ducks. And again, I'll fast forward it. He's recharging. I'll just zoom in here because one of them's going to see how to recharge, and that's how they lubricate themselves as well. It's pretty cool. And again, this will be quicker now because there's only 10 to produce. Again, there's another cost. Again, still producing ducks. And it's rinse and repeat. And again, it's up to you what you want to do, but I suggest you kind of put a bit of money aside, because as you can see, as you progress, you're going to need more and more machinery, and that's why I suggested making this bigger, so you could put more and more machinery in, rather than having to sort of like demolish the room and all that good stuff and pay for another bigger room. I could potentially get another robot, but again, I don't want to do that just yet. More robots, more cost. Let's see if the robots are actually getting any skill points. Just slow it down There goes see another date. My robots. No skill points yet here. I can sell him, but I can't upgrade him yet. No, can't upgrade him yet. Alright. Speed up a bit more. Now it's done. Ding, your fries are done. Let's get the delivery van back out. And we still got a bit of money left over, and it didn't take us long to produce them, and they're now just sit there and do what they need to do. One's sitting there waiting. It's probably fully charged or waiting for that lubrication station. The van should be turning up soon, which it is. And then they're going off again. And selling or loading the ducks in to be sold. There we go, another lot sold. Right, but we didn't make as much profit that way. Did you notice that? But we have sort of like made a bit more durability there, which is good. And all that good stuff. Right, let's see if we can invest in making the wooden toys. Or oh, we could actually make them. What's involved in making them? So we'd need a forge station. We've already got that. We've already got that. We need a forge station, and we need a paint station metal, and then an assembly station. So we need 1, 2, 3 bits of equipment. This is risky. Can I save the game here? Yes. I'm going to save it on here under autosave to yes. Actually, I'm going to save it under actually a name. Let me think. Let's put Kev1 in there. So now we know where that bit is. Now if I continue game, if I get stuck, I can load this back in, as I guess that's probably the better option. So we need a forge station, a paint station metal, and an assembly station. Right, so if I come back out of here, and now you'll see why I made this so big. So first of all things first, a forge station. Spin that round. Yep, I'll take that. Paint station metal, wasn't it? I should have put that next to that paint station. Oh well. Yep. And an assembly station. Thing is, you only have to pay for these once, and then you've got them. Now I'm hoping I've got enough money now left to do this contract. So grab that, produce, forge station, spin it around again. There. Paint station metal. There. assembly station there. Plastic injection, yep. And plastic paint, yep. So we've got all of the bits we need to produce this toy. Now, what do I want to produce it at? I could produce it at that much. I could actually produce it at a slightly higher amount. It won't give me as much profit, but I do gain on the other thing. So it's profit. So I'm gonna. How much would it be at 90%? Oh, it's gonna be tight. Let's do it for this one, and then next ones we can produce would be a lower, inferior quality. I won't make as much money in profit, and I'm probably going to make it a loss. But if I can just increase the sort of like the reliability side of it, then that's all good to go. See, now it's all the snow's melted and it's just raining. See, there's, I didn't know if I covered these, but these are the gardens you can buy. You can also buy extra buildings if you start running out of room, but look at the prices. It's going to take you a while to get to them. You obviously didn't want to make it too easy. Here comes the robots again. I could have invested in another robot, but I wanted to invest in the machinery. Another robot can come later. Off he goes. He's making he's forging something, and he's going to put it into that to paint it. So he's gone to get the bit of paint, and he's going to paint it. And then he's going to put it in the assembler. Thing is, a robot needs to be ideally there to assemble it. They need the other parts to assemble as well. So it's a bit weird how they work it out, but I don't know how they decide when and when to do it. They just do it whenever they want to do it. See, now we're in a minus. And see, now the screen's all got red. Again, I'm not overly worried yet, but it's obviously going to play on the back of my mind that we are now in debt. And we've got this big contract to fulfill. Yeah, he's going to put, see that's some unassembled parts or unfinished parts just there. So that's obviously a little boat. Just waiting to be painted, I guess. Again, this is where another robot would come in handy, but we just don't have the money. Let's speed it up a bit more if we can. There we go. And they're putting more and more parts in that back bit there. See the little sails appearing, the boats appearing. I'm waiting for them to produce an actual boat. They've got one in the assembler. One's sitting there right there. But they're still producing parts for the other bits. Well, for the other boats. Here comes some, what looks like some more sails. And some more painted boats. They've got one waiting there. I just don't understand why they don't just sort of assemble it. But hey ho. Who am I to judge? And it's obviously they've decided to do it that way, and that's the way they're going to do it. Get more parts there. When are we going to get a boat? I'm waiting to see when they use that machine, because we'll know that'd be a completed boat then. Now we're severe. Now I'm really worried. I'm hoping this will pay out quite. There we go. He's now making a boat. So now we've got a completed boat sitting there waiting. And they're just going to complete the boats now. See, he's obviously preparing stuff in that spray. He's probably spraying those parts. I think he's spraying those boats. Again, because it's a more complicated procedure, the longer it's going to take the 2 robots you have, or the few robots you have. Again, sorry if it's dragging on a bit more, and we're even more in debt now. And that's why I saved it, just in case this would happen. We'll see if this pays off. Should be done soon. Yeah, looks like they're done. 10 out of 10. So let's get the delivery van to come and pick them up. And see how much that pays us out. I could have lost some money here, but it's always worth gambling. There goes the boats. They're all getting loaded up. And there we go. Oh, okay. We didn't break so well on that. I'm hoping the next thing I can produce is going to be cheaper. But let me just slow it down, actually, just pause it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this first look of this. If you did, please feel free to like. If you didn't like this for any reason at all, please feel free to dislike. Leave comments down below either way, so then I'm aware and I can try and improve in future. If you know anyone else that may also enjoy watching this, guys and girls, please feel free to share. It helps me out a lot, and I don't mind you sharing. And if you're new to my channel to see future episodes of this, maybe even a stream, again, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so then you're aware as soon as I upload a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.